Hello, and welcome back to Talk Nerdy to Me. Now, you may have noticed that I am not Big Fudge. No, I'm the other guy who will be doing videos when he's not doing them. Yeah. So, let's dive right in and have a look at one of the most eagerly anticipated films of 2014, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Well, actually, one of the most eagerly anticipated films of 2013, but I've only just managed to see it, and I'm a student. I don't have money for cinema going. What do you want from me? Hot diggity damn, do I love Middle Earth. I love how it looks, I love how it sounds, I love how it measures up being read, being watched, and how it left an indelible mark in the fantasy genre forever. And likewise, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy has influenced genre cinema and cinema in general ever since it was first released in 2001. So everybody had a major nerdgasm when he finally got off his arse, made development hell freeze over, and brought us the first installation in a trilogy of adaptations of The Hobbit. The first film was surprising in having a tremendous scope and still being rather faithful to the source material. They added rather than took away, and this was great to see. By using elements missed out of the Lord of the Rings adaptations, it looked as though the films were going to try and give us the fullest possible interpretation of the Middle-earth saga. And things were only going to get better because there's going to be a kick-ass dragon in the sequel, come on! So, how was the Desolation of Smaug? It was fucking stupid. I should point out that this is my personal opinion and not that of the other reviewers on this site, but my god, I have never been this angry at a film in all my life. Wasted opportunity after wasted opportunity. That's not to say that it didn't look good. It did. It really, really looked good. But that's not enough, especially when you're going to fill the film with unnecessary padding and nonsensical action sequences. Dwarves lost on the rapids in barrels has enough dramatic impetus intrinsic to itself, rendering a chase and fight scene with orcs ultimately redundant. Unless you're playing with that kind of don't forget to buy the video game on your way out mentality, in which case, no. Bad, bad, Sir Peter Jackson. Shame on you. As a side note, another thing that annoyed me, or the very first thing that annoyed me, was Jackson's cameo in the film, which was about as subtle as being fisted. The very start of the film, he walks in, looks at the camera, bites a carrot, and walks away again. This is not a cameo. This is a hi ma. This is something that makes me involuntarily say very loudly in the pictures, hello there, Peter, making the other cinema goers shout at me. It's a hard life. But yes, filler. Now I can understand and appreciate the need to take the Lord of the Rings and cut it down, trim it, condense it into workable chunks. I mean, have you seen the size of the goddamn thing? So I can appreciate that. I mean, just thinking about the fact that these three people sat down and took that tone and worked into a script format, that genuinely hurts my head. I want to be a writer myself, and I've tried to turn stories into scripts, and just thinking about the sheer size of that undertaking is mind-boggling. So yes, I get that. But, and it's a pretty big but, when you've come to adapt the shortest piece in the work, and you pad it with all the leftover source material from the first project that you couldn't really use, not to mention bits and pieces from the Silmarillion, which were not going to go into the complexity of that will kill me. When you've done all that and have enough to carry on, Why would you start making things up? Why would you deviate so badly from the source material and start putting things in that, one, don't serve the plot except to slow it down, and two, annoy the viewers massively? This is what I don't understand. Orcs in Lake Town. That's one thing that's bloody stupid and annoying, but okay, I can live with it. But shoehorning in an unnecessary, oh no, I really hope Killy doesn't die sequence in this film, which is, and this is a major spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read the book, he does die in what will be the third film. It seems a little redundant now. And if this whole being poison thing is to make him weaker so that he falls in battle, this is genuinely rather insulting to the character, I think. Or is it to try and provide some kind of emotional impetus for an eventual reconciliation between dwarves and elves, something that will be explored to a greater degree in the Lord of the Rings films? Well, it's a nice idea, I suppose, but once again, the source material has given us a very nice mould for this. Would it not have made more sense, especially when you're going to plug this onto the Lord of the Rings eventually, to have maybe Glóin, or Gloin, however the hell it's pronounced, have him be injured and have Legolas be his carer? Because then you have a link as to why Legolas didn't loathe Gimli on sight when we come to the Lord of the Rings. Or worse yet, is it to just provide emotional justification for a character that comes out of absolutely nowhere? Unless she dies as well, of course. Oh my god, they're going to kill Tauriel. Don't kill Tauriel! Ah, yes. This character got on a lot of people's nerves, in the sense that she had no grounding in the Tolkien mythology whatsoever. So, is it strange that I actually rather liked her character? Don't get me wrong, it's not just because the idea of a sexy, kick-ass, red-headed elf lady makes me all kind of come to daddy. No, it's more a case that here we finally had a imminently strong and versatile female character in Middle-earth who knew who she was and what she was at and where she was going without having to be defined later on by a male character. Tauriel immediately knew what her business was. And yes, she has feelings for Legolas, but this does not define her. She later on has feelings for Killy. This again does not define her. She is far more worried, like every other woman anywhere would be, about the imminent evil on their doorstep. And this is wonderful to see, truly wonderful to see, because let's be entirely honest here, Tolkien was a little bit on subjects of gender and race, especially. But that's British Empire for you. But here is another massively wasted opportunity, because the second Tauriel, this vibrant new character, and Legolas meet up and go off into the wide blue yonder, they're just Mary Sue's. They crash in, they do increasingly inexplicable archery stunts, and then they go away again until they're needed again. And this is generally the plot of the film. They just come in, they are superheroes, and they do feck all for the bloody story. Now, we expect this from Legolas, because that's all he does for the last two films in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But with Tauriel, this was virgin territory. This was something new. And what I object to with these two characters is that they hijack the main story. Now, here was a case where Gandalf, Radagast, and the White Council have their own story going along concurrently. Would it have been so difficult to give the elves their own? I mean, why follow the dwarves all the way to the Lonely Mountain when it's already been established that the evils of Dol Guldur are already on their doorstep? That could have been just as interesting, but no, they interlope with the action of the novel's story. They add nothing to it, and the effect is rather more like the third Lion King sequel with Timon and Pumbaa more than it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. What I object to most of all is I am short, I am broad, I am hairy, I've got quite a bit of Celtic blood in me. I'm clearly a fucking dwarf, so why don't I get a sexy, kick-ass, red-headed elf lady to solve all my fucking problems? Oh, yeah, that's right. I just worry that maybe Peter Jackson's bitten off more than he can chew. I mean, he started off with 2 films and then he padded them out to 3, and maybe he's looking at it now thinking, wow, the Hobbit's not actually that long a story. Less is more, Sir Peter. Less is always more. Though, to be honest, if you can get past all that, and especially if you can get past Deutsch Et's Big Gold Dwarf, the saving grace of this film is beyond a doubt Smaug himself, as everybody thought it would be. To be honest, maybe that's why all this is crammed in there for no good reason, because Peter Jackson was well aware that people were going to see this purely for the dragon. Just stuck a cardboard fin on Benedict Cumberbatch's face, had him run around a set, and people would still have paid good money to go and see it. I know for a fact that I would have done, and about 6 women I know will definitely have done it immediately, and you know who you are. Rendering of the Dragon was absolutely impeccable, and it opened up whole new vistas of what motion capture can do, and I don't know how it's possible, but the fact that that thing looked like Benedict Cumberbatch is a testament to Weta Digital beyond a shadow of a doubt. This has given animation a whole new sense of self-confidence. This is probably the first time since Gollum that you've been able to say, no, that is an actor playing a character, rather than that's a CGI creation that has an actor's voice, if you can see what I mean. Robert Zemeckis films can't do that, even though they're human. It's very peculiar. But there was something about the way that this character was written. I mean, and I can't believe I'm saying this, to the writer's eternal credit, it would have been so easy for them to essentially have had a scaly Moriarty, or a huge reptilian Bond villain. They didn't. There was almost something Shakespearean about the gold-loving monster, and a very deep paranoia and idea of poisoned minds runs concurrently throughout the whole franchise. But to see that in a creature that is so fundamentally dangerous, that's very exciting. And Benedict Cumberbatch's voice is just perfect for the dragon. It really is. So this is going to be one of those things that alters the way films are made from here on in, especially this kind of film. 50 years from now, people will look back on Smaug and Gollum and Weta Digital in general, the way that the people who made these characters and Peter Jackson himself looked back on Ray Harryhausen. With this character, they really have created another signpost in the history of cinema. So that's one good thing I've got to say. All in all, I'm going to withhold full judgment until I've seen the third film, until I've seen There and Back Again. Because I think it's better to take these things as a whole and judge it as one vast film over 3 episodes, as it were. And to be honest, I said exactly the same thing about The Two Towers. So while I found The Desolation of Smaug to be stupid and offensive to its source material, and it let down its characters, these are just my first thoughts. I'm going to wait until I give a full judgment. And if my mind changes, then I will happily recant these thoughts, like Galileo before the Inquisition or what have you. But do feel free to put your own thoughts in the comments underneath. I probably won't read them, but hey. Thanks for watching this edition of Talk Nerdy to Me. Next Monday, Big Fudge will be having a look at how Marvel missed a trick with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'll be back the week after that. So, thanks for watching. I've been... Who the fuck have I been? I need a YouTube character name. Go ahead, Windows Movie Maker. Show me what you've got. No? Fuck you. Yeah, that'll do. I've been Dr. Fidget. I'll see you next time.